Do you struggle to get a regular stream of new patients? If you do, or if you want to expand your practice, we have a solution. Hi, I'm Steve Packer. I'm the marketing strategist here at Gerway Technology. We'd like to take you through a couple of different ways of marketing online, and then we're going to take you through bringing you in up to 1 to 2 new patients into your practice every day. When you go on a search engine, it's actually split into 3 different sections. If you're using Google, then the ads will be through AdWords, and usually there's up to 4 of these, so it's anything from 1 to 4. Then you have Google Places, and below that you have the organic search results. The total number of searches that particular search term gets is up to 100. Those 100 are then split down, and each section get approximately 33% of the searches. But it's then further broke down depending on your position. So for instance, if you're in position 1 for the ads, you get up to 54% of the searches, and so on down through. So if this search term did get 100 searches in a month, and you're at the top, you could get approximately 18 people. You then move down through Google Places, exactly the same, slightly different because there's more to choose from, because if you expand Google Places, then obviously there's a lot more below here, and it's pretty much the same as conventional searches, which is in this section. Basically what you get there is 28% of the 33%. So effectively you could get a reach of potentially 9 people. In the general searches, as I said, it's the same as Google Places. Now a good element that Google have just introduced in their ads is allowing you to put your telephone number in. Now the rest of the ad, you have the headline, you have the body of the ad that tells you what they do or what you can get, and you can also include an opening time, which is very important. You know, you want to tell people when they can come and visit you. Now when you look at the telephone number, it's great for geotargeting, so people know where you are. So for instance, the 310 number is Inglewood. It also helps that if you have a Google Places post, then you can actually display that on your ads as well. So it tells your expected client exactly where you are. So for instance, if they're not in your area, they're not going to click in on this ad, so it's going to save you money. So as we said, the telephone number helps with geotargeting, the address helps with geotargeting. Toll-free numbers are good because people like ringing toll-free numbers because it's free. The downside is, again, there's no geotargeting with it, so they don't know where you are. And in these 2 instances, neither of them have a Google Place, or if they haven't included their address within the ads. So people are going to be clicking on these, not knowing where they are in Los Angeles, and it could transpire that they're too far away to actually get to, so it's a wasted click. It's going to be costing you additional revenue. The other thing with this one is that it's the only ad that has an offer on. Now it's very good when you're doing this type of advertising to run an offer. You know, in this instance it's $80 exam. You can't see the rest of the ad. At least there's an offer there for the people to click on. And again, from the telephone number, you know they're in Inglewood. Let's get a little bit more specific now, and we'll use as a search term dentist in Huntington Beach. So it's getting more specific, it's more geo-targeted, and it's probably more like a search that people would do. As you see, there's only one ad for this particular term. Surprisingly, the ad is for a dentist that's in Long Beach. Now, Long Beach is about 25 minutes, 30 miles away from Huntington Beach, and that's right on the maximum distance I feel that somebody would travel for a dentist. So although this ad could pick up people from that location, it leaves a market here for practices in Huntington Beach to actually use this search term as well. A positive thing here is that they do have their telephone number and they do have the location, so they're limiting the number of unwanted clicks they're going to get, so that will save them money. Let's go on to the organic searches now. The organic searches are split into two these days. You have the Google Places, and obviously then you have the general searches below. Let's look at Google Places now. Now, it's said that 50% of all visitors that use Google Places will stick to the top 3, which is, so if you're below this, it's limiting your exposure. An important aspect to this organic form of advertising is the business reputation. There is a good chance that you will need to outsource this management to maintain a good trust score, and as you can see, the 3 top positions here are taken up with companies that have 5-star ratings on Google. Likewise, if you go to other platforms like Yelp and the like, it's done on trust scores, and so it's important to maintain those positions. Then we'll go down to the next section, which is the general organic searches. This is a good example of why it's getting harder and harder to rank high in the search engines. For instance, in this instance, for exactly the same search of dentist in Huntington Beach, the top 3 spots, which again are going to get the majority of the clicks, are taken up by Yelp adverts, which again is limiting your opportunity of getting your website ranking high on the search engines. They're a high authority site, Yelp, and they spend a lot of money on maintaining their coverage. Let's just quickly look at inside of Google AdWords, just so you can see the search terms that we've been looking at and the potential traffic. Now, I did say that my first example was actually based on 100 searches for the particular search terms. It's actually between 10 and 100. So you, for instance, searches for this particular keyword in a month, you would have to share 3.3 searches between the top 4 advertisers. So you'd get 54% of 3.3 searches. So you're down to 1 click per month. And that's why you have to have so many keywords. It makes it hard to manage because you have so many keywords and some of them aren't going to be performing. You're constantly checking to ensure that you're not spending too much money on your advertising. Now, what we're going to be looking at today is Facebook marketing. And the reason we're looking at Facebook marketing is that in the US, 69% of everybody that lives in the US has a Facebook account. That's 227 million users. Out of that, 74% of American public use Facebook on a daily basis. That's 168 million people you can be reaching on a daily basis. Now, there's 12.4 million people in Los Angeles. So that means that you have a daily audience on Facebook of 6.4 million people. Let's be conservative and say your catchment area has an audience of, say, 10% of that 6.4 million, which is 640,000 people. With the number of people we can market to in your area, if we only achieved a very low conversion rate, well, let's say 0.075%, that would be 477 new customers a year coming into your practice. So this is how we can get you opt to 1 to 2 new customers a day into your practice. So in a nutshell, this is the way we're going to bring new clients into your dental practice on a regular basis. So what we're actually going to be doing is social media interruption marketing. Now it's interruption marketing because it's going to be in the main feed of our target audience Facebook account. We need to use different things to interrupt their scrolling, because people scroll through Facebook. I'm sure you've done it yourself. So what this actually means is that we will present an ad to someone in their main feed. So what we're going to be doing in the next slide is creating an ad demonstrating the structure and components involved. So this is how we structure the ad. You have a headline, you have a body text, you have an image or a video, and then you have an irresistible offer with a call to action. What we like to do in the headline is introduce 2 or more elements to it. One being urgency, so make it a limited offer, and then geo-targeting, so they know the area that you're in. The body of the text is where we reaffirm the headline and irresistible offer, so we start to tell them about the irresistible offer. With the image or the video, it starts with a vivid imagery, and it needs to be industry specific as well. So we want to catch your attention, because there's 2 elements that are going to catch your attention immediately. It's going to be the headline and the imagery. You then go down to the irresistible offer. And this is what they're going to be getting. What it really costs, so you put the full price in, you tell them the special offer price and how much they're saving, because people like to save money, they like special offers. And again, you're going to be reaffirming that it's a limited offer, and also you're going to be doing your call to action in this instance. You know, it can be different things to learn more, it can be click here, you know, it's just something to cause them to undertake a task. Once you do click on your ad, they're taken across to this page. Now this page again, it creates the urgency. For instance, the slide before we'd actually have, say, 19 spots available. We want to show that the counter is counting down, so there's now 18 spots. We make sure that the wording on this section is exactly the same as the wording in the previous section, so it's congruent, so we're not telling them something different. We then got a call to action: claim your discount coupon, and we can also include in here a tap to call number or a calendar. Tap to call is quite good because 65% of all people looking for local businesses will be on mobile devices, so you can click on the telephone number and phone straight through to you to book the appointment. If they don't click on the tap to call button and click the main button here, then they'll be taken across to this page, which is basically asking them for their email and telephone number. It's got a call to action in 2 places on the form. Their information is going to be secure, so we're adding a bit of security into the ad as well. Once they've actually inputted their information here, this automatically comes straight across to you, and it comes across to us. Once they've filled their information in, they press this button and they're taken across to the next page. Now this is a very important page, because what it's going to be doing is creating more urgency. We're down to 17 spots now. They've only got 5 minutes to actually claim their coupon. There's another call to action, and what we're actually doing here is giving them another discount. If they hadn't clicked the button previously to call you or booked an appointment, then they'll come to this page and they'll get a further discount to take action, because what we want to do is for them to take action right away. Because if they, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, I'll do it later, and later never comes, so we want immediate action. Now what happens here is that you'll get notified that this person is on this page. It's important that if they haven't contacted you within 5 minutes, 10 at the outside, then you call them. You'll have their number, you'll have their email address, you need to contact them. So you have to have somebody dedicated to doing this. If you don't, you're going to be losing about 25% of the people that get to this stage. Now, you have seen in part how we'll bring new patients into your practice. It's now time for you to take action and book your strategy meeting with us. So click the link below. Because of the technique we use, we can only work with one client per location. So hurry, click the link below and book your strategy meeting. Thanks for taking the time out to watch this video, and we look forward to talking to you.